Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today.
I believe that Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith, is a man in crisis. Now, over the course of Father's Day, your Will Smith decided to release a picture of himself celebrating the holiday with his family. And in this picture, he's shown with his son by his first wife and his two children by Jada Pinkett Smith. And in this picture, his son by his first wife and his daughter Willow are holding their father closely and smiling, but your Jaden, in contrast, is appearing to be very distant from the family, even though he's being held in the photo by his sister. And the body language he presents shows someone who is very distant and very disconnected, and someone who is practically detached from the family. And when you take a critical examination of his face, it appears to be someone who might be possibly spiritually broken, because he's got the 1,000-yard stare in his eyes and a blank expression on his face. So that's why I say that your Jaden Smith is looking like a man in crisis, because his body language and his facial expression are just showing me a man who is deeply troubled and really going through a lot of pain. He's not in the same place as the rest of his family, and his face just tells the story of a, as I see it, broken man. Now, when I look at your Jaden Smith's past history, there must have been something going on with his life, because this boy has been going out here putting on skirts and dresses, and even in this picture has on a effeminate looking sweater. And I don't know what's going on with the Smith family, but they're not really paying attention to how deeply troubled this young man is, because it's all being told on his face. And I've seen this type of facial expression on many deeply troubled beta males when I was doing my research for my book, The Man Crisis. And that's why I can say your Jaden Smith is possibly a man in crisis, because for him to be during a holiday to celebrate his father, him appearing like this in a photo where everybody is smiling and he's looking like somebody is practically torn out his soul, this speaks volumes about whatever is going on with your Jaden Smith, and it just shows me how clueless your Will Smith is as related to whatever is going on with his son. Because when I look at this whole picture, it's like the dad really does not understand what's going on with his son, but that's par for the course when it comes down to a lot of these beta male fathers. Because a lot of the beta male fathers, they really don't pay attention to things as related to their sons, and they really don't really understand how to help their sons, because they themselves don't really know how to read people, they don't know how to read body language, and they don't know how to deal with conflict. And your Jaden Smith is somebody, as I see it, just looking at this picture, is in desperate need of help and counseling. And this is something probably your Jada Pinkett and Will Smith don't want to go out here and get this boy, because it would mean acknowledging that they have possibly failed as related to raising this boy. And I'd have to say, in some ways, they did fail as related to raising this boy, because he is not in the place of manhood that his other son is. Because if you look at the way his son by his Will Smith's first wife is dressed, he is dressed very masculine. He has a very confident facial expression. Even though he's got the twisted out hair, he's still looking very manly. Whereas when we look at Jaden, we see a boy who doesn't have the same confidence as his half-brother, and we see a boy who's really looking very, again, broken and very, very hurt and going through a lot of pain. And I believe that's, again, due to him not really having that good bond with his father, and his mother just being far out there and not really setting boundaries for him. And this is one of the reasons why your Jaden Smith is a man in crisis, because his family just refuses to acknowledge the issues that this boy is dealing with and refuses to acknowledge what problems are going on in his life. And one of the things I believe they're not doing is investing in him emotionally and meeting his emotional needs, or teaching him the male life skills he needs to survive in the world. Because when I look at this picture, I don't see a boy who's prepared for manhood, and I don't see a young man ready to be a man. When I look at Will Smith's other son by his first wife, I see a man with body language who's ready for manhood and ready to be a man. But when I look at Jaden, I look at a man and I see somebody who's in crisis because he's not getting the male life skills and male survival skills, and he feels awkward and out of place because he does not know how to be a man. He does not know how to navigate the world as a man, and he's practically looking like he's struggling and having a hard time. And when I look at this face of this boy, of this Jaden Smith, he's looking like a broken male, and he's looking like a male in crisis, and he looks like somebody who is deeply troubled. And I'm hoping that Will Smith can take a look at this picture, because this picture is speaking volumes as related to his son. It's speaking volumes as related to his legacy, and it's showing me in some ways how your Jada Pinkett has failed as related to raising this boy, and how your Will Smith has failed as related to preparing this boy for manhood. So when I look at this picture, I just see a man in crisis, and I'm hoping that somebody gets this boy help sooner rather than later, because I fear for this boy, because he's looking like he's on the brink of cracking, and it's just not a matter of if he cracks, it's a matter of when. And that's when I see with Jaden Smith, I see a boy who desperately needs to read my book, The Man Crisis, and he needs somebody to give him some guidance on being a man, because he doesn't feel like he's got any sort of support or guidance in this world. And that's why he's just detached from his family. Even though they're celebrating Father's Day, I don't see Will Smith being much of a father to his son in this picture. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to learn more about why many males like your Jaden Smith become men in crisis, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find The Man Crisis on Smashwords, the iBookstore, Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, ISIS, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess. The goddess next door takes on the threat of a deadly digital diva driven to destroy the world in this action-packed, all-new ISIS series adventure. Get ISIS, Revenge of the Cyber Goddess, featuring a bonus pin-up and the other 2 books in the Cyber Goddess saga at online booksellers everywhere today.